When I uploaded my Mass Effect references in Dragon Age video, a lot of you told me that you wanted to see a video on Dragon Age references in Mass Effect. And so do I. So pour yourself a nice glass of Fereldan Whiskey or Antivan wine and let me tell you all about the Dragon Age references in Mass Effect. Before I get started, I wanted to mention that, after doing some research for this video, I found that there were plenty of Dragon Age references throughout the Mass Effect games. However, there are a few that I've seen mentioned a lot, but I'm not entirely sure whether they're actual references or not. So in the first half of this video, I'll talk about the things that I'm at least 99% sure of, and in the second half I'll talk about the other things that I found. As the first Mass Effect was released before Dragon Age Origins, there are obviously no references to Dragon Age in that game. So our first reference is found in Mass Effect 2 in the Kasumi DLC. During her loyalty mission, Kasumi tells Shepard that she needs their help in retrieving an important item that was stolen from her. I'm not going to go into detail about what exactly happens, but basically, your goal is to go undercover and get access to a party. Once inside, you will sneak your way past security and gain access to the hostess vault in order to steal back the item. Now, once inside the vault, you will notice that there are quite a few interesting items. One of which is a statue that looks suspiciously a lot like a Darkspawn Ogre from Dragon Age Origins.
Wow. Imagine that thing coming at you in a dark alley.
During the mission called Lair the Shadowbroker, which is also the name of the DLC, Shepard is tasked to go to the Drakon Trade Center, which is a tall building located in the middle of a big city. Fort Drakon, in Dragon Age Origins, is also a tall building located in the middle of a city. Fort Drakon, Drakon Trade Center. Sounds kinda similar, doesn't it? Coincidence? I don't think so. The Blood Dragon armor is a non-customizable armor set that can be obtained in Dragon Age Origins, but both Mass Effect 2 and 3 have their own version. The armor in the Mass Effect games looks very similar to its counterpart in Origins. Grey, kind of medieval looking, with the Dragon Age Origins logo painted on the chest piece. In the original Mass Effect 2, the armor is obtained by entering the registration code for Dragon Age Origins. When starting Mass Effect 2 again, the armor is available for download through the downloadable content menu. In the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the armor can be purchased from the Omega Market for 15,000 credits. In Mass Effect 3, both the original and the Legendary Edition, it can be purchased from Konana Exports in the Presidium Commons for 50,000 credits. That is, without discounts. Or through procurement terminals located in the Normandy Shuttle Bay, or Armax Arsenal Arena for 55,000 credits. Also without discount. The armor's description in both titles details a fictional sport called Urban Combat Championship, and one of its popular teams called the Edmonton Blood Dragons, which in turn is most likely a reference to BioWare, headquartered in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. In Mass Effect 2, after landing on Horizon, Shepard and their squad will encounter a mechanic named Dallin, who is hiding in one of the buildings. In conversation, he will mention a captured colonist named Sten.
I thought they were just made up, propaganda to keep us in Alliance space. No, they got Lilith. I saw her go down. Sten, too. They got damn near everybody.
In the Mass Effect 3 Citadel DLC, there is a sign floating in the air over a chasm that says a Red Janey. Which sounds a lot like Red Janey, doesn't it? Speaking of Red Jennies, the next reference / Easter egg can be found in Mass Effect Andromeda, in the Sayor system to be exact. In this system, there is a comet called Jarovbees, which sounds suspiciously similar to Sarah's DIY grenade, Jar of Bees. Sticking with things in space, the Sifki system has one anomaly called Unknown Alien Tech. When flying closer to the object to scan it, you will see that this piece of unknown alien tech is actually a cheese wheel.
Don't see that every day.
And, as you might know, cheese wheels are definitely not uncommon in Dragon Age. One might even speculate that this is the famous Wedge of Destiny. What is it doing all the way out here, I wonder? Speaking of things that probably don't belong in Andromeda, during the mission The Journey to Meridian in Sector 17, the research area, there is an easily missable room that can be reached by jumping down a few platforms. The room itself is locked by one of the hardest remnant puzzles in the game, and I totally looked up the solution for this recording. Once you solve the puzzle, you can enter the room, and you'll see that it contains a few items, and a frozen nug.
Weird.
Damn, you are a long way from home, buddy. By the way, a quick but important side note here. When I was trying to get footage for the cheese wheel from the previous Easter egg that I talked about, I could not get the anomaly to trigger, and it actually took me over an hour to find out why. So it turns out, in order to trigger the cheese wheel anomaly, you need to have unlocked the hidden room during the journey of Meridian and scanned the frozen nug inside it. I found out about this after desperately searching the internet and being about to give up, and then stumbling upon a 5-year-old Reddit thread where someone just happened to mention it. And after trying it myself, I can confirm that this is indeed true. And for our last reference in Mass Effect Andromeda, during the epilogue after beating the main game, Ryder can access the terminal in their quarters and read a large amount of email messages they've received, presumably from citizens who just woken up from their stasis pods. And quite a few of these messages are direct references to characters from the Dragon Age series. A great story, Pathfinder. I'm going to write a book about this. From V. Tethras. This could of course be none other than our favorite dwarf and storyteller, Varric Tethras. Winners get raspberries. Go team, finding a home is brilliant. From R. Janey plus Whittle. There is a link to an animated texture of the Meridian Spear, with an added arm gesturing with 2 fingers. Sam has helpfully noted that, while awesome, it is not to scale. R. Janey and Whittle are of course Sarah and Dagna. Thanks, I guess. I could have helped if I had a Sam. From Seahawk. Seahawk is of course Carver Hawk. I'll make it matter. Just like you, Pathfinder. Just like you. From D. Sutherland. This one might not be as obvious as the other ones, because the character this one is referring to is quite easily missed. But it is actually Donald Sutherland from Dragon Age Inquisition. He can be found on the 2nd floor of the Herald's Rest Tavern in Skyhold. And talking to him will give you a war table mission that, depending on your choices, will unlock a whole series of war table missions. I won't really go into detail about it, but I highly recommend you do it for yourself, because this character is actually pretty wholesome. Happy Landing Day! Let's blow the roof off the place! From Anders. Yup, that's Anders. You're the best. You can drive my boat anytime. From Captain I. Okay, I'm willing to bet this is Isabella. Inspirational. If anyone asks, your family. From A. Hendir. Okay, I completely missed this one the first time, but this is actually a reference to Aveline. At least, one that married Donnic. See, Donnic's last name is Hendir, so a married Aveline could have taken his last name. The message itself is also pretty wholesome, as it is very fitting for Aveline. Alright, so those were the Dragon Age references in Mass Effect. Or the ones I'm sure of, at least. As I mentioned at the start of this video, there are a few other maybe references I wanted to mention. Things that I'm not sure of whether they are actual references, reused textures and models, or just pure coincidence. The first one is a planet called Utha in Mass Effect 2. The planet itself is not too interesting, but it's the name that matters here. See, Utha is also a character in Dragon Age Origins Awakening. However, Mass Effect 2 did come out a few months before Awakening, and while it is a possibility that this is a reference, it just seems weird that they'd put that in while Awakening wasn't even released yet. Then again, Utha, the character, is also in the Dragon Age novel The Calling, which came out 3 months prior to Mass Effect 2. I'm just not sure, guys, but definitely let me know what you think. The next maybe reference has the same problem as the previous one. So during Jacob Taylor's loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2, Ronald Taylor, Jacob's father, mentioned one of his officers named Anders.
What happened to the other officers?
Anders found his conscience a little late to step back. He had an accident. Things got tense.
And again, Mass Effect 2 released before Awakening, so like the planet Utha, this is maybe a reference, or maybe it's just nothing. Maybe they just happen to use the same name, I don't know. Something I've seen mentioned a lot is that Thedas' moon looks very similar to the planet Klendagon in Mass Effect. A lot of people have taken this to be an Easter egg, and some people speculate that for this reason among others, Dragon Age and Mass Effect are in the same universe. As far as I've seen, BioWare has never really denied nor confirmed this to be the case, and personally, I don't know. I think the Easter eggs in both game series like the Krogan heads in Dragon Age and the Ogre in Mass Effect are just that, Easter eggs. But again, that is just my opinion. In the case of Thedas' moon though, the texture that was used was actually revealed to be a mirror image from Mars. So I think in this case it was really just a reused texture rather than an actual reference. Another thing I've seen mentioned a lot, specifically in articles, is the scientist at the start of the first Mass Effect game that shouts, "Thank the Maker."
Humans, thank the Maker.
I can understand, as someone who played Dragon Age before Mass Effect, that your first thought might be, "Hey, the Maker, that's from Dragon Age." I mean, I did for a second. However, the first Mass Effect was released 2 years before Dragon Age Origins, and while DAO had been in development for quite a few years by then, I don't think they would have put this in there as a reference to Dragon Age. After doing some research, I actually found that this may very well be a reference to a Star Wars character that used this specific phrase. And apparently there was also a 9-page Star Wars comic called Thank the Maker. And that's it for the Dragon Age references in Mass Effect. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, let me know by liking this video, or leave a comment and let me know what your favorite Dragon Age reference is. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Sticking with things in space, the Sifki system... Utha, what are you doing? No, go away. No, 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 no. Nope. Do you want to say anything? No? Alright, bye.